Hello, thank you so much for listening to Trusty Hogs. Before we get started, we just want to remind you that you can get extra episodes on our Patreon. All the links are on Trusty Hogs, on our Instagram, on our Twitter, and you can get over 50 extra episodes in your inbox, wherever it works,
for
straight now, for $5 a month.
Do it.
Join us.
Through the fog, step forth the Trusty Hogs. Yeah, you're gonna give them your problems and they will solve them. Or maybe they won't, and that's your problem. They'll have guests and Andrew White on the tech. Oh, it's Helen and Catherine as the Trusty Hogs. Trust the Trusty Hogs, or maybe not.
Hello.
Welcome.
No.
Yes, welcome to episode 54 of Trusty Hogs. I, Catherine, am very excited to be here. Helen is also here and feeling
Devastated
because she hasn't had the most ideal start to the day.
Miserable.
And consequently, she is the saddest woman in the world.
I was the saddest woman in the world. I thought I was the saddest woman in the world. And then you broke it to me that someone who I thought was amazing died.
Can I just say, I did not... Okay, so look. Hello, welcome to episode 54. This is an episode where we tell you about our lives and then we answer your listener problems. Stop crying.
Everyone dies in the end.
No,
and I know that,
yes,
but like...
That is true. But basically, I've just been to Derry. I was trying to tell Helen about my beautiful holiday, went to Derry, was there for work, but also had a gorgeous day in the city, did a walking tour. Helen was like, I've been to Derry. I did the walking tour with a lovely man called Martin. And I was like, ugh. So there's a plaque where the walking tour starts because Martin, who runs the company, I think has died. Which is bad. But Tony really mentions him at the start of the chat. His name's on the back of the jackets. His wife and son run the company. His memory lives on.
He was so full of life in 2011.
Well, it's now 2022. Do you know what I'm saying?
I went to Derry and I had a walking tour with a group of friends from a lovely man called Martin. And he died.
Listen, Tony still does a great tour. Tony gives great tour. It's no bother.
You think it's my fault?
No. What? How would that be your fault? Do you think maybe this isn't about you?
No, I can't fathom that.
I feel like it's not. Stop crying, Helen. Helen.
Yeah.
Many men you've met in your life are dead now.
No!
Yes.
Oh God, it's been so awful. This morning I was at Manchester train station and you know they have that statue outside of the train station of all the men coming back from the war and they're all blind and they've had a horrible time.
I love those men are all dead.
Oh.
They're all dead. Every Santa whose lap you've sat on, dead. Dead. Anyone whose granddad you met in primary school, dead.
Catherine!
But I brought you a gift from Derry. No, stop crying and I'll give you the gift. Stop crying and I'll give you the gift. Take a breath. Take a breath. Wait till you hear what's actually happened in Northern Ireland. Oh my God.
Why no? Again?
No one's ever died there. Everything's fine. I brought you this gift.
No, they did. Sunday, bloody Sunday.
You don't even know what that means.
It's about how annoying a Sunday is.
I knew you were doing poetry. I knew you were. Fucking didn't even pay attention to Martin's walking tour. Wipe your eyes. Wipe your bloody eyes. I brought you this from Derry.
Thank you. It's a magnet. I know it's a magnet. Oh my God.
Isn't it a good one?
Christ, sure, a cheeky wee cream finger is just heaven, Sister Michael. I fucking love it. I love it.
Isn't it good?
Yeah.
Don't you cry. Don't you cry. Don't you cry.
Tell you who else would have liked it. Martin would have loved it. Martin would have loved it.
Loved it. I'll tell you what, the tour now, as opposed to 2011, is largely about how, I don't know if you know this, but in Derry, they shot Derry Girls.
Is that mainly the tour?
It's the main gist of the tour. Also, Tony's son had himself dated Nadine Quail, but Tony couldn't talk about it. He could not talk about it.
Shut the fuck up.
He was willing to answer no questions, but he brought it up. So it's like, well, Tony, who started this?
How many times did he drop it into conversation and then go, but no questions?
Genuinely 3. And also brought up Derry Girls so many times. But anyway, there's your magnet. Now,
I love it. Thank you.
over here. Hi, Em.
Hi.
Hi, Em.
You got me a present too.
Em went on holiday. Where'd you go, Em?
I went to Sicily.
Ooh, Sicily.
Very
Helen doesn't care how your holiday was. I do. How was
present.
It was really nice. It was great.
Lovely.
Wonderful to be
Helen
out
thinks
VK.
you've gotten her a gift.
You did. You said you got me a gift.
Do you want to come over and get it?
Yes.
Go on. Off you go. She doesn't care at all to ask a single question. How is the
Did you have a nice time?
Oh, I had such a nice time.
Sick.
What is it? What is it?
Okay,
don't
it needs
know.
some explanation. Cannoli is the food of Sicily. This is like an actual cannolo that got dipped in resin and is preserved forever.
Wait, there's food
my
inside of the
God.
resin.
Yeah, it's real.
No, don't try to eat it. Don't try to eat it. It's so good. It's so good.
I did not try to eat that. Does not taste good.
How good
That's
is that?
amazing.
That's actually so much. That's the best magnet that's ever been on this podcast.
Catherine,
Helen,
do you want to open up more about the marathon?
I need to tell you about it. So we have to stop calling it a marathon. I did a half marathon yesterday.
The marathon that you ran and
I did
sprinted.
a half marathon yesterday.
The rumour has it
We
you
won
beat
the marathon.
Paula Radcliffe's time.
For 100 miles. Chloe and I did the half marathon through the Royal Parks yesterday for St. Mungo's, and I couldn't have
And
done
the
it with
Queen.
anybody else. Actually, truly, oh my God, this is so funny. At mile 11, I was really flagging.
Oh my God,
I
okay,
was
mile 11. I had 9:11.
No, at mile 11. At mile 11, oh my God, always on your mind. At mile 11, I was like, Chloe, I need to walk for a second. And you're never going to... Chloe goes, Catherine, think about Helen Bauer and Princess Di. We're doing it for them.
Will you buy the memorial fountain?
Maybe that's why she said it. That would make more sense.
Which park were you in?
We were by the Peter Pan in
Hyde
Hyde Park.
So close to the Princess Diana Memorial
That's why
Fountain.
she said it. I thought she just
Did
randomly
you not
said
see
it.
the things on the floor the Princess Diana wore?
It makes sense as to why she I was like, what a random thing, but I do feel more inspired now. So yeah, honest to God, it was hell. It was hell. So here's
You
what
ran for Di and Helen.
Yeah, here's the thing though. What I realized about a half marathon, because like a couple weeks ago we did 10 miles together and that was fine. But something happens. It's like the adrenaline, the fear, the pressure of other people, the hype, the excitement. It's all a bit much.
The bibs.
The bibs. But also at the start, you're waiting. So you're like piled into this like section where you're ready to start. And honest to God, everything around you is the most depressing sight you've ever seen. Because, so some of them are funny, right? Like we saw this woman who just had stroke written across her shirt. You're like, that's hilarious. It's like, underneath it said like foundation, but in tiny letters.
Stroke.
It's like stroke. And you're like, oh God, this is terrifying. But most of the t-shirts, like you're looking around and like someone to the left is like got a picture of their dad. And it's like in loving memory of Dan. What a great, and it's like all the reasons he was great. And you're like, don't read the t-shirt. Like hell, honest to God, at one point I was like, Chloe, look at me. Don't read that t-shirt. Do not look at that. Look at me. Don't read the t-shirt. There's like signs of women who've passed and like their children running for them and like a grandmother's running for like just like or men running for their friend for prostate cancer and just like oh my God, everything's just like too much. And then you're like
Everyone dies.
You're like, don't read that. So then you look over here and this woman's lost her child, so she's like, she's doing it for like angels. You're like, oh my God, this is hell.
For
Like, really-
angels.
well, like an angel society or something. It's like, oh, it's like for like babies. And you're like, oh my God, this is like like you're supposed to be like amped up to run and you're just like, good Lord, the world is so sad and depressing and this is so bleak. You're actually at that point, you're like hoping for just a generic cancer t-shirt because you're like, that could be anyone. Do you know what I mean? One and two of us. Just give me a cancer tee. That'll be fine. And then they're like, ready? And you're like, oh God, the world is so tragic. Oh, and the rhinos are dying. Cool, let's go.
The rhinos.
And they're like, start. And you're like, it's so depressing. But then you start, and there are like women in their 80s. There were two women who had to be octogenarians in these like running skirts. Honest to God, they were divine. Their names were Val.
Skort.
Like it's like they had like shorts under these skirts. They were so cute.
Netball.
One
yeah.
was called Val. One was called Jan, I think, and they had it on their back of the. And you're just like, well, if Val's giving it a go, I better move my butt. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was a lot to process. Actually, I thought bit much. In fact,
And you went to the Peter Pan statue.
yeah, we did all the Royal Parks, and it was good, but it's the environment's very intense, and then also. You are like running in waves, which is totally fair because obviously some people are phenomenal.
Of course, yeah.
But it does mean that because it loops a lot of the time you're on mile 6 and you see people on mile 11 and you're like, oh my God.
Like fuck you.
Yeah, it's
Like
just
good for you, but fuck you.
it's not my distance is what I've learned. It's not my distance. I'm glad I did it and the charity really kept me going. But I don't want to run 10K and then realize I have 11 to go. I want to run 10K. And
How's that a half marathon?
Oh yeah, it's 21K.
Wait, what's a marathon?
42 kilometers, 26 miles.
No.
Yeah.
That's how kilometers and miles work?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
It's 13 miles, right? So you're like, The thing is, I want to run 10k and have someone tell me well done.
God, I wish I was in London. I could have given you my phone. I would have got so many Pokemon points.
The thing is, 10k is
That is so. I would have hatched like 5 eggs on Pokemon Go with that if I just popped it in your bra.
It's the first I've ever run, and I'm glad I did it, but I would never do it again. Chloe's already signed up for another half. I'm good. What I've learned from it is 10 is my distance.
Wait, Chloe got the bug?
Chloe's like, I'm so glad I know that I get so depressed at mile 9. I'm like, I'm so glad I never have to do that again. She's like, that's good intel for the next run. I'm like, 10 is my distance. 10 is my distance. I love a 10. 10, I can cut my time down. 10, I can feel smug enough that I've done a good long run. But I don't need to be going further than that.
I think you should do the full marathon next year.
Absolutely not. I'd really, truly, it's not for me, is what I've figured out.
You.
No, it's not. It's really not.
What's the Great North Run? Is that a full marathon?
I don't know.
Do that one. My cousin Sophie, who we spoke about in last week's episode, the one that texted me being like, who's Catherine fucking? She once did a marathon or the Great North Run, and she went up to Newcastle to do it, and she was staying with some of our family who like were the big boys, right? And the night before they were like, so we're ordering a Chinese, but like northern Chinese, not southern Chinese. So chicken balls, chips, and everything fried, just incredible. And she was like being polite and eating it. And then in the morning, she was like, I just need like a big thing of oats, right? Like just like loads of porridge. And they'd already started frying the bread. And then she was doing the run. She'd been training for ages. And then she got overtaken by 3 people in gorilla suits.
No.
And she was like,
There's
my life's
nothing
over.
worse than being overtaken by anyone in an animal costume. We were running behind
in a full costume.
We ran behind a rhino for so long. It was so annoying. So annoying. I will say this. So I went to A&E the night before.
Yeah.
Which was ridiculous because basically I'd had this really horrific stomach pain for 3 days.
Basically, I went to hospital, then Catherine had to go to hospital with a pain at the top of your tummy.
I've only been to A&E twice in my life. Both to, I don't know why I bothered. I should have just called my GP. But basically, I had this horrific...
Because it's fun.
I had this chronic pain. I don't find it fun. I had this chronic pain for 3 days. And my friend was like, you gotta... My friend was like, you gotta call 111. So I called 111. And I feel like 111 always say go to A&E. Don't they? It feels
No,
like
they told me not to go before.
Oh, they were like, you gotta go to A&E. So I was like, they were like, you gotta go in the next 20 minutes. And I was like, are you kidding? So I was like, I'm not doing that. But then the person I was with was like, you are doing that. And I was like, I don't want to do that.
I know, but like... And
so we went and they took bloods and urine or whatever and did tests. But then I'd been waiting for 2.5 hours. And then they were like, cool, that's your bloods and urine taken. So we're just going to, we're going to leave this thing in your arm. This like...
cannula?
Sure.
Yeah.
And just it'll be about 4 hours. I was like, no, take it out. I'm going home. I have a half. That was at almost midnight, and I had the half marathon. I had to be up at 7. I was like, take it out. And I said,
you are really afraid of being late, aren't you?
I know what I am afraid of is I'd raised all that money, and people had. I wouldn't have done a half marathon if it was just me the next morning. But I
would have let you keep the money.
No, it's not for. I'm not keeping the money. It's for St. Mungo's.
No, but you keep the money to give to St. Mungo's.
But I was just like, this is just silly. So I said to the nurse, I'm going to do a half marathon in the morning, and she seemed fine with it. So I was like, grand, we're going. But then we did go home, and it had been a long time in A&E, so I did have a McDonald's at midnight the night before.
I think you're supposed to carb load the night before a big run, aren't you?
Are you supposed to have McDonald's at midnight when you're getting up?
Yes. What did you order? What'd you get?
Well, I'm allergic to most of it, so just chips and Sprite, and I had some mozzarella.
I would jet on the mozzarella sticks with the tomato dipping sauce.
I actually
Lovely.
I just dip them in barbecue. I prefer it that way. And then I got some gluten-free bread, and I made a chip butty with the McDonald's chips.
You know what you're doing.
I know what I'm doing.
You're not a moron.
I know, idiot. She's no
I'm
fool.
fucking proud of
if
you.
I hadn't have had the stomach pain and the half marathon, I would have got a milkshake, but that felt like risky
Which
business.
one?
I'd probably have gone chocolate.
Chucky.
Yeah.
Chucky Milky.
I love a chocolate milkshake from McDonald's. My God, the nostalgia of it all.
So good.
But sure, listen, it was terrible prep, and I got there with what Chloe Petts described as a bad attitude, which
You got bad attitude by Chloe.
No, we self-motivate in different ways, right? I started a half marathon like, look, this will be dog shit. We're going to be bad. It's going to be bad. Let's just get it over with. All we have to do is get to the next mile.
That would not have been Chloe's perspective.
Oh, Chloe is telling people in the Portaloo queue that she's going to run so fast she's going to cause a tornado.
Yes, Chloe!
We're in the slowest group, by the way. The slowest group you can be in. And we did it in under 2.5, and I'm happy with that.
That's good, no?
That's fine. It's not great, but it's fine.
I think
and
that's good.
That's all we wanted. We just wanted to not be over 2:30. We were like in our heads. So once we overcame that, it's so cool. They have like people who run at a specific pace keepers. So once you get to the 2:30 people, you're like, bye, suckers. And then you really have to stay marginally ahead of them to feel like it's going to be okay.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I don't think you're supposed to shout, bye, suckers, at middle-aged women
rhino.
who are trying their best, actually.
In memory of my father. Fuck you, bitch! Run faster! Were there people like holding water bottles out like this?
Holding cups out. There were loads of people cheering. There were loads. Oh my God, there was one man. He was my favorite. There were loads of people like cheering for their moms, cheering for their partners, cheering for like the charities. The charities did a gorgeous. St. Mungo's were like really supportive when we got to them. There was a woman who recognised it as us at another charity, and she was so supportive. There were lots of lovely people, and there were bands playing, brass bands. It was really cool.
Brass bands running.
But no, just playing by the. While we were, but there was this one man who was stood, and he was like proper like old school Cockney, and he was like, "That's my girl, that's my girl," and he was like, he was in his 50s, she was in her 50s, and he was like, "Go on, my girl," and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" But he was like so proud and so like, "That's my girl," and I was like, I actually made me teary at mile 7. I was like, he was like, so he looked at, he was like, he was just like so like, "That's my girl, I see her and I'm so proud of her and she's so impressive," and honestly, like we were all going, frankly, so slowly. And it was just, he was so hyped and it was so cute and that was gorgeous. And at the end, Chloe took my hand and we sprinted, in my head, we sprinted towards the end.
You leaped. You jumped, you leaped, you pirouetted.
Went marginally faster. And also I saw Andrew 600 metres out because dad was running it. So I saw Andrew before he saw me. So I was like, Andrew, and Andrew went, "Ah!" And the squeal was enough to get me to the end.
Little squeal from Andrew. Ah!
So literally, all I wanted to say was thanks to anyone who sponsored us. I won't be doing it again, so don't worry, I won't be asking you again. But there's still time to find our link on GoFundMe if you want, but no pressure. Obviously, there is no pressure, but thank you for anyone
But it would be really
But it
nice.
would be nice, you know what I mean?
It would be really
nice.
nice.
I'd like run really far.
Thank you so
And then
much.
Em was at the finish line, and she looked glowing. And then we all went for a roast.
I saw this. I was like, that looks like a good roasty.
It was a really fucking
Like a
bang
good
average
roasty.
roast.
Oh, no.
Bang average roast. But you know what? We ate it like it was fucking manna.
Yeah.
Because we'd run 13.1 miles and we deserved it.
But not a full marathon though, Catherine.
No, as established.
Poor Catherine.
Thank you for your support at this difficult time.
And I think let's just remember that all of those amazing people running will die at some point because we all die and the world's a horrible place.
Wow, you're really dark today. Should we bring on our guest?
Yeah.
Yeah, not with this edit. Stop crying about Martin. We're bringing on Sean. Ready? Everyone, please welcome to the Hogs Pod. It's Sean McLaughlin.
Sean McLaughlin.
Hey, Helen, are you going on tour?
I'm going on tour. I'm on tour.
Tell me more.
Thank you so much for everyone who's already come to Edinburgh, Glasgow, Aberystwyth, Norwich, Bristol, and Manchester. It's been real. Thank you for my gifties as well. I genuinely very much appreciate it, including the artwork that makes Catherine incredibly upset.
It's anxiety provoking.
Don't. It's beautiful. Okay. I am still on tour for the rest of the month. I am going to Birmingham, Brighton, Cambridge, Nottingham, Oxford, Leeds, York, Liverpool, Leicester, Newcastle, Berlin, London, and then Maidenhead at the end because we had to move it. So definitely come for the big final end of the tour, 18th of November, midweek in Maidenhead. It's going to be fucking popping. But we do have a full week at the Soho Theatre in London. And my mother's coming to one of them, so you have to come and see if you can get a glimpse of the Bauer School of Drama herself.
It's such a good show.
It's such a good show. It's such a good show.
It's such a good show.
Oh, it's so
It's a lovely show.
good. It's moving. You know what? It's really, really funny. Just
very
come.
funny.
Thank you.
Hello, thank you so much for listening to the podcast. If you love it and you'd like some more free extra episodes with every single week, then why not support us on Patreon, where you get just that, and you also get all the back catalogue of our extra episodes. So there's 54 at your disposal, or there's 55 at your disposal, or there's more than 50 at your disposal.
There's a lot of episodes at your disposal. It starts at just £3 a month. £5 a month gives you access to every single episode we've ever recorded.
Yeah, loads of perks on Patreon there if you want to go have a look.
So many perks, and also makes us feel so warm on the inside.
It really helps us make the podcast podcast. Genuinely, it's what keeps us going. It's what makes it happen, and we couldn't be more appreciative. But also, I think it's really worth I think it's worth the money because it's like the price of a coffee, and you get so much content.
It's the price of an omelette.
And let's be honest, we sell ourselves out really on the Patreon section, don't we? We tell all of our secrets. That's where all of the sex chat is.
Too much.
Yeah, you think we overshare on the podcast? If you want to know what's actually happening, and let's be honest, who we're fucking, then just join the Patreon. I'd say
Join the Patreon. Thank you.
go on.
Hello. That's very cool. I had a cannoli the other day that was it was a different outer. It was like is it peanut brittle? Is that what they call it?
Ooh,
Shut
how did you
up.
feel about that?
Cafe Bruno, Soho, quality omelettes at affordable prices,
Okay.
and then a cannoli. That's the Sean McLaughlin experience.
How was the cannoli?
Cannoli was actually a bit much, but it was
Yeah, because
if you know what you're getting into, it's good.
My local coffee shop does them with the gluten-free ones are like Florentines on the outside.
The one opposite you.
No, just up the 2 doors up, and it's a
Nice.
bit much too, I'd say. Delicious, but it's like you want a small bite of sweet. You don't want like fucking break your teeth sweet.
Yeah, that's it.
I have a question, not colony related.
Have we started, by the way?
Oh,
Yeah, we're in.
100%.
Hello.
Genuinely?
Welcome
All right,
to Sean
great.
McLaughlin.
Yeah, sure. Define affordable omelette. Because
Wow.
I would love to know
You're right, you're
where
right.
parameters are with this and
We
include
wanna know
toppings and
how much you make it,
extras.
Sean McLaughlin. What's an affordable omelette to you, my man?
I think if you're charging more than £10 an omelette, you're in
That-
no man's land.
That's
That would be
madness.
wild.
No,
That
it is
doesn't
happening. It
happen.
is happening.
No, it's not happening. Where is that happening?
Excuse me. Look, we're not all living in your metropolitan bubble, okay? Some of us.
No,
Get out there.
our point is, of course, you're not charging more than a tenner.
It's happening. This is Britain in 2022. There are people. Go to Soho. Sorry, go to Soho. I didn't want to get this hard too early on it.
You are raising your voice at me, sir. And I just said,
are you eating?
define affordable omelette. And
I'd
you
say less
went,
than £10.
not all of them are living in your metropolitan bubble, you fat bitches. And that came out of nowhere as far as
Yeah,
we're
It did
concerned.
actually.
And it was weird because we are saying they should be less than a
No,
tenner,
I
and you're
appreciate
eating
that.
your omelettes at the Ivy. What's happening?
I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know we'd started filming yet. I didn't know we'd started recording. My plan was to have an Airwaves gum before, because I'm very worried I've got coffee breath.
But
No,
we
you've
all
got
have coffee
omelette
breath.
breath.
I've got omelette breath. I actually did pay for an omelette this morning. It is on the mind. It is on
How
the
much
mind.
was it?
It was £7.90. Came with chips and a salad.
No, that's different. That's
a
not just an
bargain.
omelette. That's a
bargain.
meal.
Where are we having that? Some sort of cafe?
Some sort of
Canteen?
cafe.
Canteen?
It was a cafe. I'm not
Lovely.
going to name my sources.
Don't.
No,
On air.
and that's not a cafe, that's a calf. A cafe does not serve an omelette
You're right.
with
You're so
chips
right.
and salad.
You're right.
A
This early?
calf serves omelette,
this
chips
is
and salad.
This is a very good distinction. I agree with you.
Thank you.
This was a place where, and I go there a lot.
Yeah.
But this is my sort of treat to myself. Because that's, man of the people. I go there, I sit in the corner, and then it has a little stack of Mars bars, and you can buy those as well. Now, a cafe wouldn't even go
No.
near.
The French don't have a stack of
They don't
Mars
have a stack of
bars.
Mars
Good
bars.
lord.
Well, the difference between a cafe and a calf is a cafe, if you ask for ketchup, they'll bring it to you in a ramekin. In a calf, you never have to ask because it's there.
yeah, you're so
Your
right.
access to your condiments is free.
And it's in
Yeah.
a sachet, and it's made by a company that
Cornets.
no longer exists.
And it tastes exclusively of vinegar.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, hi, how are you?
It's great to see you. Thank you for having me.
I've got another omelette thing.
Okay.
Yes, you brought it up and this is your punishment.
Honestly, I go out for omelettes maybe 3 times a week. It is becoming a problem.
What?
I'm a
Yeah,
massive
they're very
omelette
easy to
fan.
make.
I live a vegan household. My wife is vegan, so I live very vegan. We don't have any meat or dairy products in the home. So my treat is once in a while.
Once in a while,
which
3
is
a week. 3 a week, Sean
It
McLaughlin.
is increasingly becoming a habit. I'm sweating now.
You're actually having a panic attack.
I'm getting the egg sweats.
I've actually stopped crying though, so that's good. I think this is a good step.
Come on, okay.
I'll go out for an omelette. So that's why I went to Cafe Bruno. Hence was the cannoli chat on air as well.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
So it all comes full circle. But if you want, I can take you on an omelette tour. I mean, I don't want to talk about walking tours now, based on what's happened. But
I've been to the most famous omelette shop in the world.
Where?
It is in somewhere in India. I want to say Jaipur or Jodhpur, maybe. And there's a man who just does omelettes. And they are incredible.
How come we've never heard of it?
Incredible. Because I haven't told you about it before.
What about
And
that
you're
place-
not very well travelled. How about that?
Wow,
How about
weird.
that?
I've seen Egg Slut in Soho. Don't think that name's necessary.
I think it is.
that's what they call me, actually.
I think it's a bit.
Straight.
It's a bit much.
Because the chicken's a slut because they're not getting fertilised and they're just enjoying sex for no fertilisation, and that makes them slutty.
It feels like you don't know.
And they're popping out
how
eggs. They're an egg
work.
slut.
My secret is I don't eat an egg from a chicken that's had sex. They must have made love. And there is a distinction, and I can taste the difference.
You can taste the feeling. You can taste the feeling.
I have an omelette hack for anyone. As someone who worked at hotel breakfast buffets, I can tell you now, they will make you an omelette. It is part of their job. They don't have it on a little plaque because usually the servers, myself included, hide it because it's annoying to take your omelette order and go to the kitchen and bring it to you. But we will make you a bespoke omelette at most mid-range hotels. Onwards, upwards. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
Absolute
good
fact.
to know. I make my own omelette. I make a mean omelette, I would say.
Really?
Yeah.
How's it mean?
It's just I just add a little spite at the end.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. Here you go.
Yeah, that's
Here
good.
you go. I
As
also
you
make.
serve all your meals.
Yeah.
You're welcome. And then you go, well, I'll do the dishes, Catherine. And then she's like, you won't do them right.
She's not wrong. She's not wrong. I also make a good frittata, which is different, I think.
That's got potato in it, no?
Yeah, and often like feta and lots of deliciousness.
Too
Now,
much.
what is the difference between a frittata, real talk,
Yeah.
and a Spanish omelette?
Ooh.
I can ask
well,
Siri.
But generally, doesn't a Spanish omelette
it.
generally have like roasted potatoes with lots of fried onion,
Yeah.
whereas a frittata tends to be more like cheese based
Okay, that's good to know.
in my head.
Yeah.
Part
That's
of
not
me
necessarily
feels
true.
it was Spanish omelette, and then someone went, I believe it's originally called a frittata. It's
Oh,
like the
they're the same
Barcelona,
thing.
Barcelona.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
But cunt's got
They're the same.
involved.
They're the
There we
same.
go. There we go.
Yeah.
One's just got a little more cunt in.
But I liked the fried onion explanation. I felt like you were grabbing at it, but you said it with such conviction that Sean was like, actually, yeah.
I don't
like-
know.
There might be an
But
onion
there's like a
thing.
lot of shallot in a Spanish omelette, whereas in a frittata, I don't necessarily do as much.
Interesting.
What is
But-
the frittata's nation of origin?
I do.
Spain!
It's got to be Spain.
It's got to be Spain.
I think I'm making this distinction purely based on like deliciously Elle, and it feels like she's not the authentic Spanish voice.
Deliciously Ella from the protein balls in the supermarket.
You know it. She has.
She's doing
cookbooks.
well for
She
herself.
really is.
She
That
is
girl-
doing well.
That girl's living on egg white omelets. Oh God.
Really?
Don't you think?
No, you need the yolk for the flavour.
I agree.
Another little omelette hack for you.
Are you having
How
a good
often
time?
do you find yourself
hungover.
in?
I don't even want to say hungry, which is how I now feel. Why are you hungover?
Because I went out on Saturday night and I'm now in my mid-30s, and so it never ends.
Monday.
Yep.
That's
Monday
2
the
days.
10th of October. You went out on Saturday the 8th of October.
That's correct.
Wait.
That's correct.
How many drinks did you have? Where'd you go?
I didn't even have that many drinks. I don't drink much anymore.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
And then I went.
You live in an all vegan household. You barely drink. You
It's
had a couple.
awful.
How many drinks did you have on Saturday?
Oh God, this is going to be a really depressing answer. No, do you know what I had?
Shandy.
I had half a packet of wine gums and too many eggs in the omelette. I reckon I had 5 pints.
That's a lot.
That's a.
And I switched to water because we went afterwards. We went to like a club.
You switched to order at the club.
At the club, and I found out after my second soda water that they'd been putting vodka in them.
Okay, that's who's they?
My friends who I was with.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, who's they the
Yeah,
staff
yeah,
or
the staff.
they as your wife?
You trying to
What's
get me drunk, guys?
Where is this place that you went clubbing?
What club did you go to?
I don't know, man. It was really weird. We went. I did a tour show. I'm
Yeah.
on tour in Brighton.
Okay.
Sean is on tour.
Sean's on
Remember
tour. He's
that. We'll
actually
plug it at
an
the end. But
incredible
Sean's on
stand-up
tour.
comedian.
Sean's on tour with the lads.
Eating
And
eggs all around the world.
I'm eating eggs. I've eaten omelettes in 4 of the cities that I've been on tour. That's not
Fuck
a joke.
it. I didn't know this was like a thing. I thought it was
Jesus.
just a random.
It's actually I'm only now realising it is. So
You're the omelette guy.
I'm the omelette boy. I'm the egg slut.
Yeah, you are the egg. Okay, so come on. So you were
I
show
am
name,
the
by
egg
the way.
slut.
you were
Thank you.
you were in Brighton.
In Brighton. Went out for just some pints. Actually, do you know
With
this?
who?
With fellow Brighton comedians.
Okay.
Oh,
fine.
Alex.
Alex wasn't there.
Oh, Alex, I play Pokemon Go with him every day.
Alex,
Alex who?
Patrick.
Oh, nice. Okay.
who I went to school with. We used to sit next to each other in maths.
Yes, of course you did.
Whoa,
Yeah.
Okay.
Angela Barnes,
Oh,
Yes.
gorgeous,
Rob
gorgeous.
Dumbrell, Laurie Rowan, who used to do comedy, and then a couple of friends of mine who live
group.
here.
A lovely crew.
Yeah, it was great bunch of people. And then we just said, well, let's keep it going. My wife was there for a bit.
Oh,
Right.
we love your wife.
She's a great
Sean's
egg.
She's the
wife
best.
is like, you know, when you meet someone's wife, you're like, whoa. She's so cool.
Yeah, she is. Yeah.
How did you get this wife?
but
man?
so generous. Like anything I say, I'd be like, oh God,
obviously
my
she's married,
garden
does she
sucks,
not?
and she's like, I'll do it for you,
Unbelievable.
and she would.
But
Yeah.
it is crazy. She's so cool.
Yeah, she's really good. She's not, but just don't ask her for an omelette.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she will deprive you of an omelette, and her depriving of it will turn it into a thing in your head.
Yeah, clearly you'll pathologize it
Like,
and then it'll
it's a-
become a compulsion, and then you'll be paying $12.99 for an omelette in Brighton, thinking, "What happened to my life?"
I have paid $13.50 in that's in Ballands in Soho, which it is a more
You
upmarket
love
club.
it there.
It is good.
I call it balance, but I do love it. Balance.
Balance.
That's not
What
for
do
you.
I call it?
Balance.
Is that what I said?
You're freaking out.
I fucking
You're
have
in
no
a
idea.
bad way.
I feel like I'm constantly quantum leaping into this conversation. Every 20 seconds, I'm like, all right, where are we? Ballands.
Balance is a queer space. They can overcharge for eggs.
Is it a queer space?
It's not. She
It
just claims
is.
everything
Is
as a
it a
quiz,
quiz
but it's
space?
not.
I'm
It's not.
sorry.
Wait.
Are
She'll
there
be like, oh, the lights are like a certain like hue. Oh, it's a queer space. Like it's
First of all,
the waitress had short nails. Like
sure did not.
anything is a queer.
balance is a queer space. First of all, it stays open till 5, so the drag queens can come for dinner at 3 a.m. Secondly, all of the
Drag
arts.
queens
like a
can't
pe-
eat by day. They
Does that
can't
mean a
eat by
petrol
day.
station forecourt is also a queer space?
Yes. The smell of petrol? The bathrooms that are easily accessible?
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Sean. Yes, it does.
Get me a fudge. Your thing, madame.
I love fudge bars.
Not bad, actually.
You do.
Not bad.
Secondly, they're so good. Always last in a selection box, but I will enjoy it. Secondly, all of the art on the walls, have you not noticed? All the staff there are queer, and then all of the art is just sapphic nudity. Has no one noticed? Guy,
I didn't know I was being
I've never
such a
been
great
there.
ally.
What the fuck?
You're not. She just.
You're not.
she-
You're occupying the space eating your fucking smelly omelette.
I want the most manly omelette you can get.
But I will pay £13 for
I will
it.
pay. I think they're in the £13 region, but
Pink pan, baby.
it is £pink. But
Oh, I know
also,
we need to move on from the omelette thing. Oh no, I got more questions.
no, go for it.
Okay, ideal number of eggs in an omelette. Go.
4.
The thing is, the answer is 4. People always say 3. But the thing is, if you order a 3-egg omelette, most places they'll give you a 4-egg omelette because 3.
Really?
I don't think 3 looks big enough.
Agreed. It's 4.
Amazing.
It's 4.
Have you ever had a quail egg omelette?
No, what do you have to have? Like
I
12?
have.
12?
Very tough.
Is it like 12?
Yeah, it was like 10 eggs.
I don't think I've ever
It
eaten
was
a
mad.
quail egg.
It was pure madness. I only had them because Ed Knight came to me in St Neil's and said,
That is
I
a
didn't want to arrive empty-handed and brought us 12 quail eggs.
Sorry, that is a
This
back
is a
of a
while
van.
ago. This was like months ago. But like really fancy from like a Waitrose or something. And we were both like, what's happening? Like, did you have like a panic attack in the supermarket? Like, are you okay?
What the hell?
And then I didn't know what to do with it. And Neil was like, oh, fucking stupid fucking little
You had
egg."
to crack each one? Each one for the omelette?
Yeah, but it was very tough, very rubbery.
Ugh, that's no
Can you
good.
even buy a quail egg from a stand? I don't think I've ever seen one in a standard supermarket.
Nor I.
Telling you now,
Well, I
there's
was
a little
from Waitrose.
Waitrose around the corner from here. Treat yourself
Bloody hell.
to a very tough 12-egg omelette.
An awful
The
omelette.
chewiest omelette you ever
Yeah.
paid for. Okay, so you're the omelette guy. What else can we do? There has to be more to Sean.
Omelette is such a classic meal, I think, growing up in the UK, though,
I've
isn't
been
it?
waiting
yeah.
for my thing, in comedy. Everyone's got a thing. I think we may have just found it, because I don't get to do like, there's Asian shows, gay shows, there's old shows.
You be on the gay shows not even noticing. Is it
I
the
know, I'll
gay
be on the
show?
bloody gay show. I've been taking them over. I've been getting egged and loving it, actually. I want to do badly. It's the only show I want to do badly at. I could be the omelette guy. I could do the omelette circuit.
But I'm worried that it will just be you on the omelette circuit.
Great, I'll clean up.
But like, surely you need a gang, no?
No, I'll be fine. At the end, I'll do a Cluckett speech.
Yeah. It deserved everything it got. It deserved everything it got.
And it's clean. Is that
Are
joke
we
gonna...
all high?
I'm just so excited for the idea that your show next year might be called Egg Slut, and I would just lose my. Is getting the airwaves out.
The airwaves out.
Oh my god! The thing is, in my house, an omelette was all.
Fucking weird.
Omelette always meant we hadn't shopped. Like it was end of the week. There were dregs in.
Really?
Yeah, you have like half a pepper, a couple of scallions, maybe some mushrooms. What are you gonna do? Omelette time.
Omelette time.
Weird that with potato waffles
Yes,
in
yes,
the freezer.
yes.
If you had a plate of potato waffles, then it was like.
Although
And-
I do
Anne's fucked up.
fucking love a potato waffle sandwich with ketchup on white bread. Oh,
And mayonnaise.
Oh yes, please.
never had
Fucking
that.
great. Well, you're not Irish.
No, I guess not.
Neither am I. Let that be known. Neither am I. Thank God. Whoa.
Potato waffles. I honestly feel like in my childhood I ate them every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That can't be true, but I have potato
I still
waffles.
have a pack at home at all times, just in case.
Potato
Yeah.
waffles and spaghetti hoops feel like surely I had those every day.
Yeah. I think it was that. Chicken nuggets.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know.
Cocktail sausages?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was all of that.
Potato smileys.
I had all of it. I had all of
Yeah.
it. Teddy bear meat sliced.
Oh my God,
yes,
Teddy bear meat.
disgusting.
Yeah.
How are we alive?
It is interesting, isn't it?
Well, potato waffles are good. That's just mashed potato in a crispy coating shaped like a waffle.
With shitloads of salt and is a potato.
Don't think
hard to
so.
say.
I don't think so.
I know someone who
And oil.
I know someone who lost a lot of weight and got jacked as shit.
Who?
I can't name them.
It's Sunil. It's Sunil.
First rule of Omelette Club is you do not. But they swore by potato waffles as like a way to fill the hunger, but because it's got holes. Now look, I am not a scientist, so if people say things to me, I don't follow on. But that's what he swore by.
Whoa. That feels like a bad protein low poor system for losing weight. But
I think
okay.
it's if you're like hangry or whatever.
That sounds thick. That sounds like a real thick thing to do.
But hang on, just to circle back. So you went to a club.
Okay, Helen.
You realized that people were putting drinks in your drink.
Yeah, I went
And you
to
were like, what the hell? I'm here to dance, not to have a good time.
Yeah, exactly.
What the
How dare
hell?
you? I went. We were in the pub till 1 a.m. and then there was a place we used to go to in Brighton that was always the late night place.
Yeah.
And it's changed names, and we were like, let's just go there. Like, it was the only place that there was no queue.
Where'd you go?
It was called Dead Wax Social. It used to be called Ricky Tix. And it was notable for being the only place in Brighton that was A, open till 3 a.m. every night, and B, had a swing set.
Okay.
So,
Like an actual, like in the kind of park.
yeah, they had
Sean,
like
were
swings
you in
there.
another queer space?
I mean, I'm looking out over my.
set.
I'm pretty sure my marriage may be an inadvertent queer space.
I'm also worried now that he just went to a park.
Yeah, me too.
And
Yeah, it
everyone
was
else
really
like,
cool.
Sean, it's called
Day.
Ricky Dix, and he's just in a play park. And Sean's like, it's mad, isn't it? It's a swing set in a club.
Okay, so you went out.
Went there, but now it's like, but we went in there and I thought it would just be like, we'll sort of endure 1 pint in there. It'll be
You
too
ordered
loud.
water.
I ordered a Diet Coke.
Clever.
Very, thank
Because the
you.
bubbles move the alcohol around your system faster, so it leaves it quicker.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm,
okay.
I'm the thick one. That's the key thing, isn't it?
Facts.
Is that a fact?
It sounds like information from the same guy who said waffles are the key to weight loss because of the holes. But sure, go on.
Got holes in them. Can't point that. Can't prove that. Can't prove that wrong. And it turns out, Dead Wax Social. What a thriving.
Is it hopping?
It was thriving. Like punk music, like really cool people there.
Lively Dead Wax Social.
It was lively, and we actually went dancing, and it was great. And they were playing loads of songs from like our teenage years, and all the youngsters around. I mean, we weren't the oldest people there, but we were definitely on the older
Well,
end.
you're old enough to say youngsters, so we assume you're the oldest people.
Yeah, all the
Was
tallest.
it groovy? Was it groovy?
It was hot. It was hip and hopping. I tell you, the tots were loving it. Those sprogs were really, you know, they were high on their pop and crisps. But it was great, and I said to one of my mates,
You know what this place could do with an omelette bar?
He'd have fucking loved it.
If that place had an omelette bar, honestly, I'd be in hospital now.
You'd live in Brighton.
Nosebleed to death through excitement.
You would live in Brighton.
I'd go back.
Yeah.
I'd live there.
I know.
And so it was really fun. And it was the first time I'd been out, and I recognised all the songs, and all the young people were singing the songs. And I was like, isn't it weird that like they're in? I thought that sort of whole it was like LCD sound system,
Nice.
cool shit like that.
Nice.
But I went to see LCD sound system this year, and that audience is not getting any younger.
Okay.
It's
So
the
I was-
same with ABBA.
We believe
Everyone
you.
knows ABBA.
Everyone knows that. Maybe they are like ABBA now.
Yeah.
I don't think they are, lads.
Well, clearly they are.
I think people who went to that club knew what kind of music it would
Maybe
be,
it
and
was
they're
just a-
fans of
Oh,
that
maybe
music.
that, yeah.
It was cool people. They probably heard I was there.
I don't know that I said cool people. I said people who knew the LCD back catalogue.
Throw me one fucking.
Okay.
The minute I've walked in here, you're rent free. Well done. You've paid off your mortgage up there. Well done.
Do you want to look at my fridge magnet again? You liked that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did like it.
Yeah.
Were we
Okay.
recording? Were we
All
recording
the
when I sat
cannoli.
down?
Yeah. We're sorry.
This is the most fucking insane podcast.
We're running late today because of the death news. I've taken it
Yeah,
very
things
badly.
Are tough. Things are tough.
I'm really
so
sorry
listen,
to
you're
hear
on tour. What's your show called?
It's called So Be It.
Great. Why is it called that?
I don't know. You got to call them something, haven't you?
You do indeed.
But it's good. It's good stuff. It's stand up. I'm really enjoying it.
You're an incredible stand-up. What's the show about?
It's literally just stand up.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a theme. There's a bit of a thing.
It's got my favourite joke in it.
Which is?
Well, I've actually seen the final show. Last time I saw it was a preview in May, and it's one about I can't do it. It's the one when like me and my wife like we were expecting a
What?
I'm not gonna do it. But it is like I can't think about it without smiling.
It's racist, but like it is.
Rosie Jones does a really good one of it.
Behave. What are you doing for? Are you doing London dates?
I'm doing Leicester Square Theatre
Yeah, you are. When?
next week. When does this go out?
Thursday.
Does it?
Yeah.
I'm doing it on the 21st of October.
Oh,
Go
easy.
see Sean. He's so good at stand-up comedy.
And as always, Sean will be tagged in everything on this episode and all
Sean
of our
is
things. So like, go
annoyingly,
follow him.
Genuinely, I think
The best stand-up in the country.
Yeah, and I think you're one of those stand-ups who I think it must be incredibly annoying for, because every stand-up comedian names you as their favourite stand-up and is like, he's so underrated, and it's like, he's not underrated. People just need to go see Sean more.
Oh, well,
They're
that's
so
very
freaking
nice.
good.
Thank you
Do you
very
not
nice.
feel there's like so many of us in your shows?
Yeah, you
No,
must like lots
I
of
went to
comics in your
see
shows.
you at Mac Fest, and I was in a row of like 8 other comedians.
Whenever I go to see you in
nice.
Edinburgh, it's just a gang of comedians, like a bunch of newbies trying not to take notes, but you can tell they're like, why is it so good? I
that's
want to
very
work
nice.
out how it's so good.
That's very
So
nice to
good.
hear. But the thing is, we're all everyone sees everyone. I think
No,
everyone sees
I
everyone.
won't watch
no.
women on stage.
No,
Full
no,
stop.
absolutely not.
Full
That
stop.
decibel. Ugh.
Whoa.
What are women's opinions for an hour being I don't think so.
We can go to our own shows, thanks.
I love this podcast. Do you know what this studio needs? A bloody mirror. That's what it needs.
I don't get it.
I know you don't.
Why does it need a
It's
mirror?
hard.
To look at yourself in the mirror.
To look. Why?
Because you said you hate women's opinions for an hour.
Oh, right. Because I'm a woman.
Does she
No,
have
I don't get
or
it.
does she just shout?
I don't know if they're
Say.
opinions.
Because you've never seen it, because people don't go see Helen. Now, I go see you.
Oh,
But I would say I went to see
why?
Helen do comedy, and she did my accent for 15 minutes, so I don't think she
On
should.
stage?
Yeah,
I panicked. Second day of Edinburgh. Absolutely freaked out.
That's like me once. I was panicking. I had a reviewer in. Ended up just doing Al Murray's full act for an hour.
We had a reviewer in that day as well. We did. 5 stars. So can't complain with that.
Can't
That guy likes me.
But I
He
saw
likes me.
Catherine, and I think it's because, like, oh yeah, I referenced my hometown. I went, does anyone know? I'm from Fleet in Northampton, which usually makes someone goes like, oh, service station, and then I can be like, you know, fuck yourself, actually have some respect. But Catherine was like, woo, I know Fleet, trying to be a supportive friend. And I was like, who said that? And I was like, oh, Catherine. And then I was like, she's from Ireland.
And then she did genuinely stuff on the potato famine.
Oh, really?
For longer than it needed to be said.
But like Alan Partridge's stuff on the potato famine.
Sure.
Like the classic, like if they could afford to immigrate, they could afford to eat in a moderately priced restaurant. Like all
they can afford an omelette.
Yeah.
It was not my best moment.
No.
Sitting next to my
Irish agent.
now agent who I just signed with like 2 days before, and I was like, that's my new agent. She's Irish too. Like it was.
It went on for some time.
That's a bit of fun,
It's a
isn't it?
bit of
For
fun.
who, Sean? For who?
Well, it's a bit of crack. Do you understand
Oh
that?
my
Yeah,
God, make it end.
Bit of crack.
Okay,
You should have seen me in Manchester last night. I'm fucking buzzing for this, guys. And they were like, no. Hi, man, I'm fucking buzzing. I fucking love Manchester. Manchester.
Oh my God. Is that what you're doing, going around the country just impersonating people?
But people are like, and then like I finished the show in Manchester last night, and the woman who was like running the venue came around the back and went, "There's someone that has a sausage roll for you." And I went, "What?" And she went, "I don't. There was a. They have a sausage roll for you." And I was like, "Okay, well, I'm hungry, obviously." It was a woman with a sausage roll.
Do you think that people are going to start bringing Sean omelettes now at his shows?
Oh my God, if anyone is going
Cold
to see
omelette.
Sean's tour and is listening to this, 100% take him an omelette.
Bring him homemade omelettes.
Okay, I think we might have to.
Sean an
set
omelette.
Sean omelets, all he wants.
Let's
He wants you to
set
sit-
some boundaries
He
at
wants you
some
to
point.
sit in his show with your smelly little legs, keeping them warm in your clammy hands, and then he wants you to bring them to him at the end.
Or would you like a
At
sausage
the,
roll?
at
It
the
was
interval,
nice.
I'll leave, and sometimes people leave gifts and stuff. And
Yeah.
you go, oh, what's this?
It's gonna be
It's
omelette.
going to be, it's
Tinfoil
40
omelette.
omelette.
Some people go
Great.
or
40
eggs,
omelette.
or quail eggs, or eggs.
Quail egg.
Easy to get home. That'll be grand.
Yeah, that'd be perfect. Or even just a local guide to omelettes in the area. If I'm traveling I've got Liverpool, Tunbridge Wells this week. I don't know anything about omelettes around there.
I actually think do send Sean omelette recommendations.
Yeah.
If you look at your tour dates that are on your social media and stuff,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
If you're in one of those towns, obviously go see Sean, but also send in the recommendation of the best omelette in town.
I'd rather you only did the second one.
Really, you don't want them to come. You want the omelette
I'm
recommendation.
no interest in doing the show. I'm on tour for the omelettes.
Final egg question.
Yeah, always.
Worst omelette you've ever had?
Ooh.
I felt it was a bit too personal. I actually did.
Here's what you have
Overstepping the market.
Yeah, I know.
Here's what you have to know is I'm only getting back into the omelette game in the last sort of 5 months.
Okay.
I had a lot of years out.
Bless you. What happened?
Thank you.
Tummy thing or?
No, not tummy thing. I was sort of off
Trying to be a
egg.
good husband. Trying to be a good husband.
Trying to be a good, and I remain a good husband. A great husband wouldn't secretly go out for omelettes. This morning I left my laptop in the cafe as well. Uh-oh. That would have been double trouble. If my wife had come home, I've lost my laptop. Where was it? I was eating an omelette. What?
Does she not know about the omelettes?
I don't tell her about. She's going to listen to this probably.
Will she?
Yeah.
Hi,
Probably.
babe. Love you.
Hey, you're
I'm sorry, I've been
cool.
secretly eating omelettes for lunch
You're
every
too
day
good
for the
for him anyway.
entire marriage.
Did your ring just fall out? Your ring fell off your hand.
I'm eating omelettes tonight. Most people it's like I'm going to shag a sex worker, not me. Crack up the griddle, baby.
What's amazing is how much you're avoiding the question as well.
What's the worst omelette?
What's amazing is that Sean, the other podcast you're on, makes it you think it's normal to say. Most people are like, I'm going to shag a sex worker. Most people aren't doing that or saying that or taking their wedding ring off as they declare it to their lads on a pod.
I don't know. I mean, I
Most people are like, nope.
you
You don't know what the lads at Rickety Ticks were like.
Rickety Ticks.
What was it called?
Ricky
It
Dick.
used to be called Ricky Ticks. It's now called Dead Wax Social. And
Yeah,
it's
I'm going to
not out
call
on a
it Ricky
Saturday,
Ticks.
actually.
I'm calling it Ricky
What
Ticks.
podcast have you been doing where you're like, I know what you're expecting me to say?
No, I meant more like, you know when you see lads take their wedding ring off and they're all like, come on lads, I'm away from the wife, and they do
No.
naughty business.
No, we don't.
That's
They
what people
don't do that, do they?
Yeah, some boys do.
That's horrible.
Well, it's like it's a stereotype.
I know.
That's a really
very-
sad indictment of men and monogamy.
It is, and that's why I was trying to subvert that by saying my idea of that is eating an omelette.
They're just having banter, babe.
Okay.
It's just banter. If you can't handle the banter, stop drinking Fanta.
I don't drink the Fanta.
Fucking loser. Worst
or-
omelette.
or
Take a
marinade.
minute, speak your truth.
I just really feel like we should say sorry to your wife.
Oh no, I love you, babe.
He,
I just occasionally eat an omelette. I mean, it's a free country. I don't eat them at
At the
home.
end of the day, it's his body, it's his choice.
I don't eat them. I don't eat them that often.
You've had 3 this week. Okay, worst one? Worst one.
Do you know? I actually know where it is.
Go on.
It's in a hotel in Rotterdam, and it broke this one broke my fucking heart because I'd stayed at this hotel before, and it was the first time I'd ever stayed in a hotel with an omelette station.
Oh, wow.
And I was
wow.
Whoa.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a whiz on that thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Then I stayed in the same hotel again 2 years later.
Oh, God.
Different person. It was not a good omelette.
What?
It was not good. They didn't. It was just a mess. It was a mess. I think
Talk us through it. What was wrong?
It was the
Undercooked
scramble.
or overcooked?
Well, look, it was the 15th anniversary of 9/11, so I was in a weird place anyway.
Oh,
And so,
don't get me started on the 15th. The 16th, fine. 14th, great, if anything. 15th, what a fucking day.
so I turned up.
Oh my God.
Am I allowed to? I didn't know what to say.
You think Helen hasn't mentioned the anniversary of September 11th on this podcast multitudinous times? You're good. Go on.
Oh, good.
We started the episode that came out on September 11th.
Listen, we don't get back to the omelettes, please.
But it was just a shit omelette. It wasn't even omelette. It was like scrambled eggs with a bunch of like
No.
a couple olives and a pepper and an onion, and none of it was cooked.
What?
And then I had a blueberry muffin and a cry, and I tanked the gig on purpose. Took it out on the people of Rotterdam.
Wow, good for you, man. That's
Thank you.
vengeful. You also eat a spiteful omelette, it seems.
I eat a spiteful
Spitefully.
omelette. Thank
Eat
you.
spitefully.
Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry that happened to you.
Thank you.
Well, you seem
Am I being a good guest?
you seem like you're having a
I
break.
honestly
yeah?
don't think. I don't know. Like I don't. I want to tell you, but I don't
That's
know.
not a thing that
I
podcast hosts tend to say, by
I
the
think
way.
you're being a
You go,
good.
I don't know if you're doing well here.
Here's what I'd say is I'd say you're being a good guest on the podcast you're on. Have we facilitated a good environment for you to be a good podcast guest? I'd say probably no.
Yeah, I agree with
It's
that.
been pretty egg focused, and that's on us as much as it is you.
I feel like it's you sort of came on off menu, and we've just been like,
Well, it's like
been a bit confusing.
It's almost like you could say you can't make an omelette without breaking a few eggs.
We'll do a list of problems,
Yes,
please,
please.
Em. Thank
Let's
you
get
very
this guy
much.
out of here.
Fucking hell.
I don't even. I'm in one of those days where I feel like, well, I must still be on like a plane and asleep or something. It can't really be happening.
Do you want to hold
Flying
the
home
candle?
from Rotterdam right
That
now.
help holding a candle?
Yeah,
Just
what is it?
To ground you. It's Dolly Parton.
P.
If you want the rainbow, you got to put up with the rain.
I'm okay.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
This one's from Kay.
Hi, Kay.
Hi, Kay.
Dear Hogs, hope you're all
Hang on,
well.
sorry.
Hi, Kay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Hope you're all well. I'm in the market for some advice, and I'm hoping my favourite comedians can help. I want to
my
start
God.
writing comedy and doing some stand-up. I have notes on my phone full of content ideas, and I've been adding to it for months.
Great.
I also have some experience with performing. What I struggle with is actually writing the set. Do you have any advice on how to get started with writing comedy? I've looked at some comedy writing courses, but my funds are incredibly limited, and I'm currently working as a nanny after graduating from Central School of Speech and Drama.
I went
You
there.
went there.
I went there.
Hey.
Hey, Kay. Here's what I'd say is I did a stand-up writing course, and I think it actually only helped with like giving me the confidence to perform, which it sounds like you already have. So I don't think that you need to be spending your very low funds on that. I think if the issue is you're trying to figure out, like, it sounds like you have too much stuff and you don't know where to start for a set.
Yeah.
I think just book yourself shitloads of 5 minutes at open mics where you can, and then just try different ones. Like, try as many different ones as you can, as early as you can. And also, I don't know that I ever wrote a set when I started. I sort of just talked and let the audience decide what was good.
I did the opposite. I just talk now and only have bullet points and
Yeah.
like never write it out. But when I started, I wrote it out. 'Cause I was
Overprescribed.
so nervous and I wrote
Yeah.
out like full sets, but like would sort of like pick something to talk about. I say that my first gig I played Share Believe down the microphone from my phone because I ran out of things to say.
Didn't we all?
Didn't we all? But like, I mean, Catherine's right. The really annoying thing about stand-up is you kind of just have to go to the open mic. Like,
have
there's
to
no,
just do it.
don't you think?
Yeah, you just have to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really hard and it's awkward, but you just have to do it, and it's great. And if you've already got like if you've graduated from
Central.
place like that,
That's where Judi Dench went and Catherine Bohart.
yeah, and they're hilarious.
Yes.
Judy's
Judy
lol.
is a lava
She's
minute,
lol.
okay?
She's lol.
That guy.
Yeah, just do it. Just write loads of stuff. Go and do it, and you just keep doing it. I know it sounds obvious. I'm rereading that book by Stephen King called On Writing. I've never read any of Stephen King's books apart from this. It's so good. It's about how important it is to just why people write, how you write, and all he does is he just does it. He just keeps going and does it. It is a craft. I hate saying that,
agree.
but it is a craft.
I also got told something quite early on. I don't know if this is useful because it sounds like you've got lots of things you want to talk about. But if you're struggling to write like your first set, I didn't do this, but I wish I had, which is like one of the comics in Berlin told me quite early on. It's like, well, it's your first set, so you just need to introduce yourself. Like, if you can't introduce yourself, then it's like, it's going to be hard to do like material because you kind of need to know your voice. So just sort of like introduce yourself in the funniest way you can, you know?
I think that's fair. I think like the privilege of the first few sets you do is like no one knows you.
Yeah.
So you get to tell them information like that's obvious about yourself as if it's new and it's exciting. And also, I just think the best and most relieving thing I realized about my first few sets was that they were always going to be the worst ones I wrote.
I'm now trying to think about your first sets, and I remember one of your
Oh
first
my
openers,
God. I
and
used
you'd
to
go on stage and you had like a little dress on.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, can you see my, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is great.
I genuinely, like my set was like predominantly
Based off,
about,
can you see my cunt? It was charming.
but also genuinely, my cooch I think was the word I used.
you did use cooch because it was
And-
for a radio thing.
Yeah, and my
So they couldn't even see us.
no, they couldn't. And also, my first set when I first started stand up was like 2 minutes. I was working in an office on the nature of like biscuit placement on large large boardroom tables and how it like created a Hunger Games vibe as to who would go first. Truly, it was dog shit, but that's the best
No,
thing about
that feels like a really signature Bohart bit.
It was-
like
my point is-
biscuit placement.
My point is like it's gonna be your worst set, so just get out there and say it, and then make it. The next one will be a little marginally better, and then marginally better. And it's so annoying because it does take ages, but I just think do it. I hope that helps. Does that help?
One thing I would definitely say because it may not always seem like it. Most comedians are really nice. Most comedy audiences are pretty nice.
Yeah.
So don't ever. Everyone feels that.
Yes.
What you're feeling is so. There is
Normal.
literally no comedian that has not felt
Every
like that.
comedian's done this as well.
And
That
they've
thing,
all
like,
done
where
it.
to start, but how do I start? And like
Yeah.
every comedian you meet, even if you do have like one of those nights where it doesn't go well, we've all done it multiple times.
Oh, and if anyone's a dick about that, that just means they haven't died yet. And oh boy, they're going to learn real fast.
Or they have and they don't feel it.
Yeah,
We've
they're
all
a
seen
psycho.
those ones
They're
when they walk off and they go, smashed it. And it's like,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need to go kill yourself right now. Go!
I would also say try every joke 3 times. And then if it doesn't work, throw it away. But I do think give it 3 times because sometimes it's in delivery, sometimes it's in wording, sometimes it's in.
I did the
confidence.
Irish accent for 3 days after Catherine was at that show.
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
you
yeah.
just, you never know. But it
never
just
know.
worked less and less each day.
Yeah, and then you hired a lookalike. Is that right?
But I do think. Is there anything more to say on that? I think that's really it, isn't it? Just go do.
You just have to do it. Unfortunately, you just kind of have to do it, and
Oh, and
And
you
do it-
have
do it
to
your own
win
way.
so you think you're funny or you'll be nothing.
No.
It's a very niche
no,
little
you
thing, but
can
I think it's very
absolutely-
important.
No, neither of us did behave.
Neither of us did well.
No. Sean McLaughlin, you're on tour. It's an amazing show. People should go see you. Also, you've come here hungover and you've done your goddamn best, my friend. You've done your
That's not good!
You've done
Really?
your absolute best.
You've
And
really-
we respect you. Also, you are
I've
online.
not won a competition to be here. Like I was invited.
If you entered a
We
competition,
begged
it would
you
be
to
for a
be
really
here,
large
doesn't even
omelette.
pay.
Here's my question. Where do people follow you online?
At Sean McLaughlin on Twitter. I can't even remember my Instagram. I think it's at Sean McLaughlin Comedy.
I'll look it up. I mean, he's tagged in our stuff. So
Okay,
like,
great. What's your website?
SeanMcLaughlinComedy.com.
Fabulous. Sean, I did have a question. I knew I had a question, but I was interrupted so long ago. You just did Live at the Apollo.
I did.
That's coming out soon. People can check you out on that as well.
Yeah, come watch me on that.
Did you have a great time?
I did actually. It was very nice.
Yeah?
It was very
What'd
nice.
you wear?
I wore
Who are you wearing?
I wore a suit. I wore the
Nice.
same suit I always wear, which is just a slightly bland dark grey suit.
Lovely.
And it was very nice.
pre-show meal.
Pre-show meal.
Yeah, what you get?
Oh, because you get to order what you want, don't you?
Yeah. It's like your last meal.
Yeah, it's like the last meal.
What did I have? Because they give you all the.
I had
All the
Wagamama's.
takeaway menus.
I think I just had a Nando's.
Did you? Didn't go Leon?
Well, the thing is, Nanda, I wasn't given that.
Oh, I
I'd
got.
have gone that.
Oh, he's angry.
What was that on the cards?
Yeah, I had a Wagamama's. They didn't even give that, but I said I'm gluten free, and they were like, "What do you want?"
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'd have gone for
But
like
then
a
I was
local
too
meze platter
I
or
was
something.
too nervous I couldn't eat it, so it didn't really matter.
I fucking wolfed mine.
Okay.
I
fine.
ate so much.
Yeah.
I couldn't
know,
eat
I
before.
just went Nando because I never get Nando's apart from in situations like that.
I just remembered when I came back from Apollo because I was so hungry because I hadn't eaten because I was so nervous. I warmed up myself at Marks and Spencer's pre-made Spanish omelette. Whoa!
You could say they were huevos rancheros.
What?
I don't know. I looked at you and all the
I
blood
thought
went
you
from
were
my
going to
face.
do a tortilla thing because we were saying Spanish omelette and tortilla, and then she was saying tortilla earlier, but now she's saying Spanish
I don't know
omelette.
what I was going to do.
Okay.
That shouldn't say
You're
it.
the
That's
fir-
some
this is the
bad stuff.
Don't ever make it so the first conversation you have all day is filmed and recorded.
You'll leave
Because
with
the-
egg on your face
because-
and it won't be good.
You'll live with 3 eggs on your face and you're going to wish they were in a bloody pan.
It makes no sense. Bye, B. Hey, Sean McLaughlin, everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you to our executive producers, Guy Goodman, Simon Moores, Janinna Bautista, Mary Fox, Annie Tonner, Sarah Jarque-Deakin, and Oliver Jago. You absolute legends. A huge thank you to our producers, Richard Bicknell, Elle, Richard Bold, Neil Redmond, Victoria Hutchison, Emma Walton, Karen and David Bull, Harald van Dijk, Eddie Doyle, Tim and Dom, David Walker, Rachel R, Anthony Conway, Sadie Cashmore, Claire Owen-Jones, Jess and Nick, Zoe Jo Holmes, Sarah and Molly, Alex Pugh, Josie W, Amy, Raia Fink, Cordelia, Rachel Page, Helen A, Tina Linsey, Sophie Chivers, Graham Marsh and Emily Gee. Oh my God, what a long list. You absolute heroes. Thank you so much.